I'm really excited to see that you guys have got your 4th season going. Starts on the 6th. Is that right?
Yep. Sunday night. January 6th, 9 o'clock, 9:30 in Newfoundland.
Yep.
And what can you tell me as showrunner and all the different pots that you have your fingers in? What's different about the season for you?
Oh, me, right.
For you?
This season, as a writing team, what we did was we tried to focus on elevating the game. And being in our 4th season, I felt like we had a certain opportunity to take the characters that we know and love and sort of just delve a little deeper into their worlds and what their plan is, and sort of span some plots over certain episodes. I still designed it in a way that if you've never watched the show, that you should be able to drop right in and sort of know what's going on. But this year I think there's a little bit more satisfaction sort of tied in throughout each episode for the people that have been following the show. I feel like it's made each episode tighter and sort of have a little more consistency. I think that this season is a lot more consistent. We get to know a lot of cool stuff about Kristen Pellerin's character, Leslie Bennett, for example.
Well, speaking of which, what's it like working with a guy who's, your main star, but also, he's the dude. He runs the show. He writes it. What's that like for you? Not to put you on the spot or anything.
It's really exciting. But it's really fun to work together, and to work together over 4 years, and to play these characters together and really get to know each other in that way. It's pretty nice.
Well, does it give you a chance too to put a bug in his ear? Like you're like, hey, this would be cool to do. Do you ever have that opportunity?
I don't ever really kind of feel the need to do that, because I feel like we're getting surprised all the time and challenged all the time, and I'm having a fantastic time.
Not just because I'm your boss, right?
Right.
I love writing for Pellerin, and I love the character. And very first time I saw Kristen, she played the Fool in King Lear at National Theatre School. I saw that production, and I knew right then and there that we had a pretty intense conversation that evening after the play, and I knew that I had to work with her. Right. And so when I created the show, the very first sort of thought in my head about creating this character of Leslie Bennett was Kristen. And that was from the get-go. Wow. The character was created purely for her, which is kind of cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I spoke with her about during the CBC Winter event was, for me, I'm an East Coaster. I love the fact that it's Newfoundland presented raw. I mean, it's very cool to see that. How is it filming there when you're in the midst of this, being able to present the way you want to present it?
It's amazing, man. To have the opportunity to show a piece of the country to the rest of the country. And a lot of, our country's so huge, and there's, such a small, sparse population across, the second largest nation, landmass in the world. Maybe the second, I think we're saying. It's like, not all of us get a chance to go to these pockets of the country. Not everybody gets to go to Sydney or go to Victoria or whatever. So St. John's, for me, this is an opportunity to be able to show it the way I like it, the way I like to see it. And I get to showcase that to the rest of the people in our country. And then, outside of that, it's on in 96 countries or more. Yeah. I tweeted a thing yesterday, we were just talking about it, Jake and Leslie in Russian. It's like, it's all over the world to be able to show this little piece of our country to the rest of the world with this fun adventure, comedy, drama, action thing happening. It's really neat. It's a great way, I think, to get a little window into the place without getting it shoved down your throat.
Right. And, how do the locals respond to seeing you guys filming and around? Do you get much response?
Yeah, they were pretty cool.
They're the best. Well, the show belongs to them, really. Right. So they're really, really supportive, and it's so encouraging.
Yeah, they're really, I feel like we're all making it together, The province is not just sort of in terms of the structure of the whole thing or just our crew, but the whole city and the whole province is sort of, we're all in it together, and I feel like they trust how we're representing them. And I feel like deeper than that, than across the country, I feel like Canadians are trusting how we're representing Canada to the world. So it's definitely a give and take relationship together that we're all seem benefiting from at the moment. So I'm very proud about that.
That's cool. Well, have you guys had response from people around the world? Like, have you been somewhere and had a response from someone on the street or anything like that?
I've had some cool moments.
Yeah.
Some cool moments. You?
Yeah, well, I was here in Toronto, and this little Italian lady came up to me, and she said how much she loved the show, and she sort of didn't, her English was pretty broken, and it was like, oh wow, I can't believe it's sort of reaching people you just never expect out of the blue.
Yeah, a friend of mine was, for some reason, was working in an Amish community, and all the people would collect in the one house that had the TV, and they were watching Republic of Doyle.
No way.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
When I was in England, like I had a couple of people in Manhattan was pretty interesting because we haven't sold in the United States yet, but some of the people in America are watching the show illegally or whatever. They're finding DVDs or they're doing whatever, and getting stopped in like the MoMA was pretty surreal.
That's amazing.
Or in England, London, England, I got stopped in the theater a couple of times on the street. So it's like people are, I just, because of, yeah, you know, it's not like, I don't take that personally as an ego thing, because this show is my creation too. It's like, it's a deeper, I'm the producer, and it's like our thing. So I feel like our brand is getting out there in the world, you know, which is represented oftentimes by our faces, but there's so much more to it than that, so it's cool.
That's amazing. Going into this season, you've got at least one new face. Can you speak a bit about new cast members, anything like that?
Yes. No. Cool thing that happens at the end of season 3. You find out who Tinny's father is. That is Kevin Crocker, played by, you know, national icon Paul Gross, and Paul Gross plays, you know, Jake's sort of arch nemesis and his old partner, and he happens to be Tinny's father, and that plays itself out throughout the whole season, which is amazing.
That's cool.
I think Paul's fantastic, and then Gordon Pinsent's tied into that somehow, which is also cool to reunite Pinsent and Gross, because of course they did Due South together, which is a big part of Canadian television history, and Gordon's one of my mentors, Paul's one of my mentors, so to have all three of us on screen together was pretty cool. And you had some, did you have any scenes with Paul, or you had scenes with Gordon?
I had scenes with Gordon and I have the same birthday.
Oh, really?
And we've gotten a chance to celebrate every year for the past 3 years on set.
That's amazing.
Wow. You're both the same age too, which is interesting.
Yeah. This is all
What's it like
magic.
working with Gordon, though? I mean, he seems like such an incredible guy.
Gordon Pinsent is the greatest man.
He's so lovely. He's like,
All the women are in love with him.
I'm totally in love with him.
And that's not even an exaggeration. It's like you watch all the women in the crew just want to follow him to wherever. Look at her eyes. Look
I
at her.
know. It just makes you melt.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. He's a great guy, and he's been really supportive, and he's been like one of those guys that's sort of invested in me emotionally early on in my career. So I have it's such a great thing to be able to sort of hang out with him. And Paul did the same thing. A lot of our guest stars sort of have had that relationship with over the years, working the theater. Like we've worked with so many people that some of the greatest actors in the country have come to play with us, and it's pretty cool. Louis Guzman is on this year. It's just pretty neat. And
It was so exciting.
the first episode, Angus McFadden, who played Robert the Bruce in Braveheart, which is pretty cool, plays Jake's Irish uncle. And Martin McCann, who's a buddy of mine I worked with in Closing the Ring, who's from Belfast, he plays Jake's Irish cousin. So it's a cool story how that all spins out. Bob Joy showed up this year, a brilliant writer and actor. Joel Hines does a pretty good term with us. It's very neat.
Wow. It's quite a drawing in of people, really.
Yeah. And I've been able to cast over the years every Newfoundlander I can find. Natasha Hensbridge and Rick Mercer are still on the list of people I haven't had on the show.
I was going to say, when's Rick going to be on?
Rick's busy, man. He's such a busy boy.
Busy.
We almost had a thing going in season 2, but he's busy, so we're sort of working it all out.
That's cool. Anything you can tell us about this new season that you can hint at, give us little tips on, maybe?
Leslie goes to a pretty great place this year. Dark, gritty. It's fun. It's exciting. I can't really say too much without giving anything away.
We get to see this sort of interesting side to. Well, we get to see a really interesting side to Leslie in a couple of ways, and we get to see this process that she goes through that leaves us all very worried and sort of confused, and then we also get a little bit window into your backstory. We get to meet your sister, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the Tinny story is also very interesting. Her and Paul Gross have a lot of work together, so following that trajectory is pretty neat, and how that all ties up together. It's cool. I think it's the most exciting season we've ever done. The first episode, I feel like it's our strongest episode we may have made to date. So
Wow.
I hope people like it.
That's amazing. Thank you very much. Have a good season.